welcome back to my channel. My name's Melanie and I make videos about living in Copenhagen. Today you're joining me in a nice green corner of my living room as the weather outside is pretty awful. I have said many times that I hope this is going to be the last update that I make about COVID-19 coronavirus. I'm going to stop saying that because I think these updates are going to continue for a little while longer. We're now up to update 11 was the last one, so this is update 12. Now, we have seen a spike in coronavirus positive tests in Denmark over the last week or so, and you can look at, I've put some links down below, but you can look at how they're working out whether this is worrying or not. But there were something like 900 and something positive tests in the last 24 hours. But what they're finding is that the percentage of positive tests to the number of tests being done is increasing. So more people that are tested are testing positive. And that's become a worry for the government here. So at the end of last week, the Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen made some new announcements on restrictions. Now, what I am keen about here is that the way she always presents it is kind of like we're all in this together. She coined this phrase corona trist, which means kind of like corona sad, tired of corona, whatever, and we're all feeling like this. I know we're all feeling like this. I'm feeling like this. My son, my husband, all of us, people outside, you know, we're all feeling like this. However, to be able to continue to keep schools and businesses open, she has brought in 3 new restrictions. The first one comes into effect from today, which is Monday the 26th, which means that no shops, supermarkets, kiosks, whatever, can sell alcohol after 10 o'clock at night. Now, the reason for this is because bars have to close at 10 o'clock and people who want to continue having fun and partying are then going to buy an alcohol and continuing, even in this dreadful weather, to enjoy themselves. And that's what they want to stop. So that comes in today. From Thursday, which is the 28th, I want to say. So if it's 26th, 27th, 29th of October, it will be mandatory to wear these lovely things anywhere where you are indoors in a public space. So that's libraries, museums, supermarkets, shopping centres, some educational establishments. Now, children under 12 are exempt from wearing face masks, but I noticed this morning when I dropped my son off at school, there is a sign that says, you know, anybody visiting the school and entering the school as a visitor must wear a face mask. Now, I have a meeting this afternoon with my son's teacher, and I'm going to be having to wear my face mask when I go in for that meeting. So these new face mask regulations come in on Thursday. The other thing that comes in is the reduction of how many people can meet together, and it's gone down from 50 to 10. Now, there are a lot of exemptions for this, looking at like workplaces, schools, sports, gyms, swimming pools, all of those. I will put a link below that actually outlines what things are exempt from this. Cinemas are another one. But these are places where you can exercise social distancing. These regulations are coming in this week, in October, and they're going to continue until the 2nd of January. So this is going to have an impact on some elements, traditional elements of Christmas here, like julefrokost, Christmas work parties are obviously going to be a much smaller affair this year. Now, the Prime Minister has said, you know, you can still have these parties, but obviously only 10 people can gather in them. She's also encouraging us to reduce our social circle to 10 people that we regularly see, and this has been something that's been recommended for a while, but the actual gathering is now one of the rules that we have to follow here. We have just found out that at my son's school there has been one case, a positive case of COVID in one of the younger primary years, and really heartened at how the school has handled this. They told everybody that needed to know that had been in contact with this child and what they're supposed to do to get tested. Now, they have to get tested twice, once today and once I think on Wednesday, and the whole class is being taught with an emergency teaching package from home until the 2nd of November, because that's the period in which they need to get the testing done and get those positive or negative tests back. So that's really good. Communication was very, very good. But I will say, in regard to schools, since the schools opened just after Easter, our school, and I'm only talking from our experience, and our school has secondary and primary in it, there was one case of COVID in upper secondary. So that, for those of you watching in the UK, that would be like sixth form. but just one case, that was it, and they did the same procedure then. And again, in primary, there's just been one case. And I hope and I think that it's going to go the same way as it went with the secondary, that, it'll be just that one case. But because they've basically kind of like locked down just that one class of children and anybody that's been in close contact with them. Now, interestingly, the rules say that only that child needs to stay at home pending this test. Parents and siblings can carry on going to school and work. That's the recommendation. Now, obviously, different families will approach that differently depending on, your risk levels and your sensitivities, etc. But that's what's recommended. So it means that, not loads and loads of children are going to be pulled out of school at any one time. So that's really, really positive. Now, they're the new regulations that have come in. There is another one if you're travelling to Denmark from what's considered to be a high-risk country. You are going to be asked to produce a negative COVID test, piece of paper, certificate, whatever you have. You have to have been tested 72 hours before, no longer than that. So within the last 72 hours, you must have had a negative coronavirus test. Now, there's a little bit of debate about how that's going to be kind of policed and how they're going to do it. But as I say, I'm going to put links to all the news articles that you need to read down below so you can understand. And also, if I can find it, a link to the countries that are currently considered that you shouldn't travel to and from Denmark. Now, we're all in this together. Like I said at the beginning, we're all sick and tired of it. But as I saw somewhere some time ago, we may be tired of coronavirus, but it's not tired of us yet. And if we want to be able to go back to some kind of semblance of normalcy before, any vaccine is available, and to see our families that live abroad and are not here, and particularly for people living in Denmark, that's a big deal for us because, I haven't seen my parents, last time I saw my mum was last November, the last time I saw my dad was last summer. We want to, it's important to have those connections. It's important to have those connections for our children and our grandparents. My son is almost the same height as my mum now. And, by the time she sees him next, he'll probably be taller than her. So, we all have to pull together and do the right thing so that we can, get on top of this and go back to some level of not wearing these, not having to, not hug one another, be close to one another, and, let's all just stick to the rules and do what we have to. But for some people, the rules, you might not know them, you might not be following the Danish news here. Now, I would really, really recommend a couple of websites that you can check out on a regular basis in English. One is The Local and one is Your Danish Life. They're both on Facebook if you're on Facebook, and you can get bulletins from them there. But they are ones that are worth looking at because particularly Your Danish Life, the editor there, she's a Danish person, so she can go along to the press conferences and she can actually, she's not having to translate it in her mind. She can understand it all, and then she puts up a summary really, really fast after those press conferences. So do check that out. I think that that's probably one of the best places to keep up to date with what the rules are, what's going on, what the cases are, everything in English if you live in Denmark. Now, I'm going to go and record a little bit more of some other videos that you're going to see later this week that aren't about coronavirus and a little jollier. But I wanted to continue with these updates because I know a lot of you find them really, really useful. So until next time, keep your mask on you, wear it when you need to and where you must wear it, and don't be that person that's not wearing their mask. And until next time, bye for now.